So, messaging menu, one of the things we found is that clients that are mail clients that aren't integrated suck. And we want to make sure that that's a better experience. Even if Thunderbird does nothing, what can we do? And so what we're going to do is, one, we're going to make it easier to install in the messaging menu and remove it. And two, we're going to use BAMF to know when those applications are running, so we make sure to get the triangle. So it looks like they're there, we can switch to them, we can do user switching.
Okay.
We can do window switching, just because they're there. We obviously can't do mailboxes and stuff like that, but at least we can provide some integration for the people who use, I don't know, Mutt or Thunderbird and all those people, talking about mail clients. And the other thing we're going to do is we use preferred mail. Preferred mail, when you switch to my preferred mail client is, we're going to make that mail.
Okay. That's
good.
good.
So, and we won't show evolution unless you've selected it.
There might be a branding issue with that. I know there would be if it's Firefox. I'm not sure whether the same would apply to Thunderbird.
Oh, okay.
Branding issues in what way?
Because we currently, if you look at the messaging menu now, we currently call it mail.
Yeah.
Call it
It's your default. Your default is called mail.
Yeah, we might have a problem with that with Thunderbird.
Well, I don't see why we would need to call it Thunderbird instead of mail. But
I know if it was Firefox, then that would be.
all right, yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely something that we need to look into.
Okay. So I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, just a general question, like, how do you guys handle the trademark thing? You basically just do what Firefox does? I mean, you guys are a separate organization now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, we deal with it pretty much like Firefox. We have like an unbranded or specific branded for the unofficial builds. So for the builds you make yourself or the BS.
Okay.
Deal with those in a specific way. And then for the actual like final product, we use the Thunderbird.
Right.
So we call it Thunderbird instead of Shredder, for example.
Right.
Okay. And the last thing is that, I don't know if this is widely known, and I'm just trying to socialize it, is that if you put in the desktop file entries, messaging menu will put those entries in the messaging menu. So that's what, like the compose message and contacts, the messaging menu for Evolution is actually in the desktop file.
Yeah.
And so when you click on it, it calls a command line that's, whatever, I forget what it is, but that's why it does that. So there's no reason Thunderbird can't have a compose message, even if there's no integration.
Oh yeah, that was
In the desktop file?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we just have an X
that was something
namespace.
that was suggested this cycle, but I
we
decided
got
against
a
it.
patch for that.
I don't want to do half an implementation of it.
Okay. I was just thinking there might be some things that are low-hanging fruit that we done without
Oh, it
any
would
code
be,
changes.
yeah, and I can imagine like other system or other distros and things like that, like using that for other things.
Yeah.
I guess like Numpshell use it for the Dropbox.
It's basically, I don't know if you're familiar with the Nautilus action spec, it's based on that. It's just a little bit simplified because we did it kind of at the same time and they haven't quite finished it. They're almost done with it.
Oh, okay, right. But it seems like an easy patch to do.
Yeah.
So I would be happy to help review it and things like that.
I need to review it to make sure, because we might want to change it to be more closer to the Nautilus, the actions guys, to change it slightly. But we want to be compatible with that. The goal is to be exactly the same as the way they're doing it. And then it has a show in like normal desktop files. So you can say show in messaging menu and you're good to go.
Do you want to start a Gobi document?
Yeah.
You do? Are you taking notes?
It was actually there before I started.
Okay. I'll let you take notes.
So coming back to the trademarking, I think like David knows all of that.
Okay.
Like, from his heart, so I'm not an expert on that area.
Have you guys thought about how Thunderbird would use something like quick lists? So I don't know how you do like jump lists in Windows.
We haven't done anything about that. I think like the Firefox people have been looking at that. But that's definitely something we could pick up on.
So we do with quick lists the same way we do the static items in the desktop file. And you can do dynamic items with that indicator.
Oh, in the desktop file?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So you can do dynamic or static items depending on what you need. So like a Tomboy, it needs to be running because it puts the notes in there. So we can obviously make those static items. But with Evolution, you've got the compose mail and stuff like that in there as static items.
All right. Yeah, so that's definitely something like.
And it's the same thing as app indicator, so you get two birds with one stone.
So it also falls back to just data area for like XFCE or something like that doesn't necessarily have authenticators, it will always fall back. Or you can choose not to.
Or unless you break it.
Sorry, we haven't been introduced yet.
Oh, sorry, I'm Andreas. I do graphics for Thunderbird.
Okay, nice.
And some UI stuff as well together with you.
Failed to introduce you guys.
Oh,
Can you make it so that when you get messages that have lots of people CC'd on them, you can read the message?
See, now here we go with the pet bugs.
Yeah.
So so I think like the easiest way to do any kind of specific stuff like that is probably like try and do it as a Thunderbird extension at first. And try to look into that, and like if it works properly, then we can look into having it in a
That's my favorite pet bug, Thunderbird.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, I mean, like, it seems like in general the extension system is quite powerful. So it's a really good way to just try things out and see what works.
So, Chris, you're talking about doing Zool for app menus. And so Thunderbird would get that for free?
If I did it again.
Okay.
I'm hoping to find time to do that, yeah.
Okay. So I think that's more glaring than messaging menu integration.
Do you think?
Absolutely.
Unity desktop, yeah.
Okay. So you think that the app menu is more important than the messaging menu?
Yeah, because we have a semi-working sort of plugin that.
Yeah, I've been looking at that the last few days, and it's going to be difficult. I mean, it's great the guy's done it, but it's going to be difficult to get working properly. There's some architectural challenges with communicating with the messaging menu.
Okay.
Well, do you think it's the sort of thing that we could actually get implemented natively? I mean, I'd be quite willing to work on it.
I think like we could definitely do that. Like it's always a matter of like how much code is it, and how would it be like specifically only interesting to us on Ubuntu, or would it be interesting for us on other distributions as well?
So even if you included the core, libindicate, which is what we use for indicating in a messaging menu, tells you whether you're on Ubuntu or not. And so you can say, okay, I'm using this now, it's important, or no, it's not, nobody's talking to me over this protocol. So if it was just a binary statically compiled in, you could detect whether it's being used.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
we could do it as an extension, but the current extension uses a separate Python process communicating with the indicator, and it sends data through a pipe. And it's a bit messy. And it doesn't support communicating the other way, so if you click on the indicator, there's no way of communicating back. I've tried looking at it to get it working. It's just.
So in order to do the work, you would have to rewrite it.
I think so. The other alternative, we could actually rewrite the extension in C++. We could make it work. More than happy with that as well.
and Zool's C++, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
before we forget, that brings up an interesting point. The messaging menu is really nice, but global menu.
Okay.
Because when you run,
I just assumed it would be the other way around.
I mean, that was one of the killers for Thunderbird on the netbook, was the fact that it didn't have menu integration. I think we had was there an OEM customer that was looking for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was one of the issues, is you couldn't get that extra screen real estate back. We didn't have a way to. You could full screen it, but then you lose all the launchers. Or, So there was. I mean, the reason why we do that menu on the netbook is so that we just maximize every pixel, and so that was one issue. If we could do that for all those Zool applications, that'd be fabulous.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that's something I'm going to look at anyway.
and so if we don't do that, let's just stop. Let's assume that you can't get it done. We're moving the blacklist for whether there's stubs in the menu, like whether the Windows has stubs, into the desktop file. So I'll need to upload at some point just to put that in the desktop file.
Yeah.
I don't think that matters for upstream at all, but
No. Okay.
just as a FYI.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a pain because we've had to on some of our daily builds for Firefox and CMonkey and things, we've had to change the launcher to set the environment variable because you keep crashing this.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a blacklist, but the binary name changes.
That's the problem. We've got version binaries.
It's blacklisted by the binary name, so it's hard for us to keep up that way. Which is not the right way to do it, it's just the fastest way to not have to upload a bunch of big packages right before release. I told Kenny he was going to have to upload Open Office, and I swear he almost jumped through the computer and killed him. my throat was tingling.
So assuming you can do the work, do you guys have like a process where you need getting the code upstream?
Oh, well, you write a patch.
I'd like to have some idea of
How
how
feasible
they would like it implemented before I go to patch.
Yeah.
I could spend 2 or 3 weeks writing a patch and then say we don't like to do it like this.
Yeah, so I feel like you could talk to probably Mark Banner or someone like how to do it best.
But this would be in Zool, right? So is that different than Mozilla messaging, and do you have to talk to?
Oh, you might even have like more probability if you're doing sleuthing, then like maybe some Firefox person.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It probably wouldn't go into the toolkit. It'd go into the Thunderbird specific.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I think like the easiest way is to bring it up on the mailing list, the Thunderbird. Let's see now, Thunderbird, the planning list, and just like check for ideas. If it makes sense to do it, and like all that, write a proper patch, and then like ask for a review and a UI review on it. And I'm happy to help with the UI review.
Yeah.
All right.
So Sid says he has Gabi open. That's as a work item. We should talk about how we're going to post to the Thunderbird list. Hey, we had this session. Give people a link to the proceedings and whatnot.
Mhm.
Say, I want to do the global menu. That way.
Chris, it'll be for you.
Yeah, okay.
And or me.
Oh, sorry, of course, I'm getting confused here between messaging menu and global menu. Of course, if it's the global menu, it probably will be someone else.
What do you mean?
Because that would be a toolkit change. The global menu.
Oh, okay.
And that would probably be interesting for Firefox.
Yeah. It'll be on this other brand.
Yeah.
Change.
It's just, I'm keen that they know that we're looking into this area before it's
Yeah.
like too late.
They know because years ago when there was originally a global menu project, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Which is using Xender.
Yeah.
And people have been asking them to implement GCK menus for ages to try and make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they know that people want to make it work.
This will be nice. I hope you get time to do it because it'd be a really nice gift.
Yeah, I think it's
for
right.
Firefox.
I think it'll be great. Well, I have to admit, I'm a little bit reserved about support because Mark uses Thunderbird and he doesn't notice messaging menu bugs when the Thunderbird doesn't work with the messaging menu.
Yeah.
So he does start noticing bugs, and that's not necessarily a good thing for me.
You know the security team are recruiting an extra person.
Yes.
I'm hoping that frees it up like that.
You finally get to do your job for like 2 years.
Yeah. So yes, I'm hoping I'll have time for this sort of stuff.
Cool. Okay, so if you were to do this, so you don't do it in one place, you would do it for Firefox and for Thunderbird?
It would have to,
similar? No? Okay.
So the
It's
big
the
thing,
same box, so
yeah.
so that should
So okay, if we talk a little bit about messaging menu integration, back to that.
Yeah.
Let's assume that you're going to be able to do both. Let's just assume that for a second. So one of the things that we've really pushed for in the messaging menu integration is providing someone in the preferences for people to disable it. I don't want to be in the messaging menu.
Disable what?
Being in the messaging menu.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Disabling thing. And the other thing is that something we haven't had in evolution, but it's been often requested, is being able to select push mailboxes.
Okay.
Call for attention on which ones are shown. And the reason is because you necessarily, I get a mail from work, maybe that's not important. Mail at home from my wife, like, yeah, set off the alarms, right? And so, I think that's been an often requested feature. If you could at least build with that in mind. I think it's a more complex UI on the preferences side, so maybe more difficult.
So can you add messages to the menu without Asking for attention. Yeah.
Exactly. So you
Okay.
you can add it, and then you can say this needs attention. This message.
Yeah.
So like for chat, we show in there people who just connected, and just connected doesn't call for attention.
Yeah.
Or we show people who are actually talking to you, and that calls for attention.
Yeah.
But this is the menu, this is not the notifications, right?
Correct.
But I wonder if it could be combined anyway.
We put it in the same preferences pane, and we just made it a separate checkbox.
You can see here actually. I've got Evolution open at the moment. You can see it's gone green.
Yeah.
I've got messages in it. So,
Oh, it's
yeah,
really
I've got two
Yeah.
mails there. Unfortunately, it never gets the focus right. When I
It doesn't.
I have Evolution open on a different
you know,
workspace.
as far as I've seen. It doesn't like get the focus right. And
Yes,
like,
Yeah.
one
it has
of the
issues
is
with.
so patch compass.
Yeah.
Fix that problem.
That's really nice because I always have Evolution open
So we
on a separate workspace.
So what happens is we actually now send the timestamp. So the web browsers, if you give the timestamp, you present with the timestamp from the user event, it's supposed to show. The compass focus stealing prevention blocks that.
Oh, I
Because
see.
it kind of guesses like, oh, I don't think you really got a user event. Like,
Yeah.
blocks it. And so I'm
So
a compass guy, and that's my number one bug for interface. So
the current extension actually alerts for all mailboxes, I think.
Yes.
It's a preference.
It
for-
does. And that's been a complaint. I mean, so if you're working on one, I would say try to avoid that thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
If we get time, I'll fix that for Evolution as well, but I don't know if I'm going to get time for that.
The other thing it does as well is in the notifications that are displayed, it shows the whole message subject. I'm not sure what's preferable from a design point of view, actually. Whether do we only show the number of messages from Evolution because of a technical limitation, or was that a design decision?
No, it was a decision based on the number of people. Yes. So that was a decision based on our users, who are people who get hundreds of mails from Launchpad at once, right?
Okay.
And that's a little bit different than other users who, get hundreds of mails in hundreds of
Yeah.
days. And so we stuck with the number because we didn't want it to become
Okay.
too big. The messaging menu limits you to 7 items, so you
Yeah.
can't have over 7.
Oh, because it's a scalability
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
If every app shows 7, that gets pretty big.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was actually referring to the actual notification.
Oh, the notifications? The same thing, it's just the number of items.
Okay.
So if you're doing notifications, the one thing we can do is cluster notifications. Have you seen how to do that?
No.
So if you say you allow append, it'll append on the notification. So let's say I'm getting a chat and George is talking to me, and so it comes as 5 different messages. Empathy actually sends 5 different notifications that just says these can be appended, and then Notify OSD grows the notification as those come in. So then you get a whole message.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could do something like that, 5 new mails, and I'll change it to 6 and update the 6th. And I think the real reason we did that is we didn't know a good cutoff. We couldn't figure out a way to, is 10 mails too many? Is 5 mails too many? And it's a hard problem of how, as APT said, his mom runs a guest house business in New Zealand. And so if she gets a mail, that's like really great, because that means she's probably getting a contract for a guest house, like it comes to their webpage. And so then, set off the bells, that's a great thing. If I get a mail, it's like,
Yeah.
Especially about this.
yeah, I don't read bug mail on purpose. That's what I got George for. I outsource it to Detroit. Cheap labor there now.
All right. Yeah, but I think it should be relatively simple just to look into the preferences pane to say that,
Yeah.
I don't want.
But a lot of people, so the preferences pane is a mixed bag because you effectively have to launch the application to remove it.
Yes.
We haven't found a solution around that.
Oh, so you have a lot of people who would actually not want to launch it to fix it?
Well, so they want to remove Quiver because they think Twitter's for not them, right? Well, they can launch Quiver, go to preferences, and remove it, right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't ever want to launch Quiver. They're just morally opposed to Twitter. Okay? There's people who do that and they feel that way. And there's no easy way to remove it from the messaging menu without going into Quiver. And
And
that's it.
installing whoever doesn't help.
Uninstalling does, but sometimes like multi-user systems.
So it's more of a similar issue to the way that you select the default browser on OS 10 or
Yes,
something.
it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that feels really backwards.
Yes. We haven't found a solution for that. We didn't really want to make a whole settings dialog for the messaging menu. That seemed like, big stick.
Yeah.
But I'd love design ideas there because we've tried everything out and mocked it up and we haven't come up with anything that was useful in either way, but yet still achieve that goal.
Well, I feel like, it's either like in the Thunderbird preference pane, like, or in that menu, or in the control
At the bottom
center,
of
but
the
that's
menu.
like really
Let's do it, and then just pop up a nice box like
Yeah.
Unity does where you select the checkboxes, what apps you want in there.
Yeah, I mean, something like that just seems a little bit heavy-handed, right? For something people aren't going to do most of the time, right? And so putting it in control center made sense, but it's just like, I guess maybe we could put all the indicator preferences maybe in something, it would be enough to actually justify a control center dialog. But, I mean, just choosing applications is not a lot. I don't know. You can do it by hand, I can teach you the console. I've tweeted it before, so I know it's under 140 characters.
There's a question if notifications truncate after a certain length.
Yes, they do.
Probably have to speak loud.
Yes, notifications do truncate after a certain length. They have a max height, and the max height is applied to the text as it comes through. And we use Pango and all that kind of fun stuff.
So I think what I'll probably do this cycle then is, we're pretty much committed to having this working in indicators because I was quoted talking on IRC a couple of months back, saying that we would have it in the messaging indicator.
Oh, that's right. You already promised people.
I did.
You told me that.
So there's a lesson to be learned. There's a lesson to be learned there.
I wouldn't commit to what that lesson is, though. It's being recorded.
Yeah. Don't talk in public.
Just real quick, we were talking a few days ago about what the plan is on the launcher, like when you get mail, adding an emblem or whatever.
We'd like to
Explain what we want.
We'll use the messaging menu, libindicate for that. So
Oh,
I think for app developers, focus on messaging menu, and we'll try to figure out a way to get around them. We haven't figured out a classy way of getting emblems.
okay.
So I think I'll probably try and get this extension working in a way that we're quite happy with. Whether that means rewriting it in C++, I don't mind. If we can take that and then say, here, this is what it will look like, and then we can probably try and get it.
And it should be like, do this as a patch or a merge or something like that, but just having something to
Obviously,
show
because at the moment, obviously, you've probably got no idea really how it's going to behave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if I have, and I mean, like, this is also a process that we have been doing more and more inside of Mozilla Messaging, that we develop new features as extensions first, and then go and actually integrate them into the main product once we have, like, proper testing and making sure it works, and actually develop it, because we got a lot of bad feedback from people who ran nightly builds, and you ruined everything. Because things were
what do people expect?
Perhaps move closer to the mics because people are having a hard time.
Okay.
I think you should do it like Netflix, and every 1,000 downloads you give a different extension set to and see how people respond.
Nightly bills come with no warranty.
Yeah, and I guess we also could promote this extension properly and say hey, Ubuntu users, you really want to try and use this because it seems like a cool thing.
We could recommend it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you could. Yeah, you could even do that.
Yeah.
So, how does that work with old installs? We won't get it then, or
No, they would. Yeah, upgraders would get it.
Okay.
If we recommend it.
Recommend
That's actually what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was also like thinking of like trying to propagate it
Yeah.
through blogs and things like that.
No, the idea is that we can get it into such a state that we can actually just recommend it and install it by default.
Okay, so it would be a separate deb,
Mhm.
basically. Okay, cool.
People will still have the option of removing it afterwards, but
Yeah, definitely. So how does recommended work
So
now again?
recommended packages are installed by default with our current policy, but you can remove them, so they're looser than dependencies.
Ah, right. Okay,
So,
all right.
so we have dependencies, recommend, suggest, and suggests aren't installed by default.
I can't see why I don't notice. I mean, I've been running Debian for, I don't know, too many years now.
I don't know whether they install recommends by default actually.
I don't think Debian does now.
Oh, I mean, like I started using
Yeah.
Debian and now Ubuntu, and,
Okay.
you know.
But,
But I never learned like how the actual package pattern
Yeah.
system works.
and so recommends is nice because people can uninstall it without uninstalling the package.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
see you. Just
Oh,
try
it's
to-
one of the. Yeah, all
So
right.
people aren't going to want to uninstall this thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people want to uninstall a lot. I've learned.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things we've had with U1 integration. A lot of people want to remove it, so we have to make that as modular as possible.
Yeah.
So, and with app menus, what's the like way forward with that?
That's not going to be an extension. That's two. That's quite cool.
So I know that, if I remember right, there's a platform-specific part of Zool, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Zool big, and then there's like platform optimization or something. Does it?
There's actually there's a section of code that's if def'd up
Yeah.
for Mac, which exports the menu bar to a native
Yeah.
menu bar. So we just
We're
need
just
to
running a version
we
of
just
that
need we
for
just need
us.
to hook into that and squirt it out to Diva's menu or whatever
Okay.
it is.
And so, does it make sense? I mean, I guess there's two choices there. One, we add a separate, there's like a Linux generic platform and a Linux Ubuntu platform, or do we try to patch the Linux generic?
Well,
Not sure exactly how. we do
I don't
that.
know. Okay.
There'd probably just be a configure flag for
Okay.
app menus or whatever we want to call it. I don't know.
About how much work is involved with that?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. I guess we can't get you to commit on the record either way.
I would really like to get it done this side.
Yeah. That's
I don't want to say that we're going to have it done and in a state that we can ship this cycle.
We estimated it as 4 to 6 weeks.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So considering I've obviously got lots of other maintenance
Yeah.
tasks to do. as
That's
well.
what we did
Yeah.
for looking at the feature. So, I don't know. We could kind of do a flyby though, so
Yeah.
Chris knows a lot better than we do.
Yeah, it's just that, the Zool apps are the last missing piece, right?
Well, open office too.
I keep saying we should remove it.
Yeah.
well, now it's easier to get patches into
Yeah, you guys see the
LibreOffice.
little chart?
Yeah. Amazing. So, and the quick lists, and that would go into the desktop file, right?
The static items and the dynamic of what's happening.
Hmm. So
does that-
that's a bit easier, I guess, to do? Or?
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
When you see me with my laptop, let me show you how it looks like on Tomboy. It'll be obvious.
Oh, okay,
how
cool,
it
cool.
looks. Yeah. So like in 7, you can like right-click, compose a mail, do all that kind of stuff. But that would be in our messaging menu. So what kind of stuff will we put in a quick list for a mail program?
I would put your last 10 messages or something.
Yeah, we could do
Okay.
something cool like that.
Similar to what Tomboy.
Or whatever your favorite starred messages or whatever.
Well, I open start messages are important all the time. I don't know that you want to jump to those quickly most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have any good statistics on how people use them themselves. I mean, like, I know how I use started messages, but maybe that's
Yeah.
not the
I
same
use
thing.
them more as things I need to reply to, which I guess would be kind of useful.
Right.
But
It's like flag messages. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Quick list. Well, it could. Yeah. Well, I guess like different boxes would go into the.
Yeah, you could just do one for each inbox too, which would also be useful. I mean, you want more than one inbox today. I was surprised how many people have more than one inbox. Like people I didn't expect to have more than one inbox really do.
Oh.
People really segregate their work and home, and even like organizations they're in. I was surprised. Just like people, not technical people, they like having multiple mailboxes.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's like nice separation.
Yeah.
So,
like,
the
you know,
future for the multi-account email system is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, I would have thought that most people would like having the simplicity of one, but they like having, you know, my PTA email is here, my
Yeah.
soccer league mail is here. And, yeah,
I just have 2 inboxes.
me
One
too.
work, one home.
Me too.
I
But
think I have 11.
I'll put them together.
I have them all forwarded to each other, yeah. And so,
That's why you don't get bug mail.
You get it.
I
Just
forward
doesn't read
the
it.
mail to you. How do you understand this? Auto forward.
Forward it to
So-
Dev Null.
Yeah, so I guess one thing we could talk just with Thunderbird as a whole is, start to think about cool things we could do with quick lists. Because you're going to have to do it for the other 2 OSs anyway, so.
Oh, for OS 10 as well?
Yeah, they've got on the right click on the dock, it comes up with stuff.
Oh, and maybe we don't do anything. Yeah, so that's maybe something for us to figure out, like
Yeah.
exactly what to do with quick lists in general, and maybe
Yeah.
it makes sense to do it the same way across
Yeah, you
all
can just-
3 platforms.
Yeah, because a lot of upstreams don't know that we have this coming up. So, okay, we also get this in Linux too.
Yeah, and I mean, like in general for Linux, maybe it just makes sense to do quick lists since like the GNOME shell people want something like quick lists as well.
Yeah, so Sandy,
Yeah.
okay, you're going to the summit then, Sandy wants to work
So
on it.
yeah, Sandy will fix that. Good. So it's something that's useful for the like wider ecosystem as well. Right.
So that's my work item then. Write the extension.
You only got 2 work items on this. Tiny.
So is there a
Burn
lot?
down Charlie's.
Is there a lot of
Not
code you can reuse from the other extension or the existing?
Some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just do it right. Just do the whole thing.
Which extension are we saying, that for the general Zool or just the message?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The messaging menu will be an extension, but the app menu
Okay, so
will not be
okay.
an extension.
Where did the lightning stuff fall in the Mozilla split?
Lightning? Lightning is, well, we have like community people working on it. Maybe someone employed by the German military, or maybe that was something else. Well, I don't know. But there is a community of volunteers doing the Lightning, and they're focusing on Lightning as a Thunderbird extension.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've dropped some from the archive now. Yeah.
And things are moving forward with them, and they participate in the like general Thunderbird weekly meetings and have a like status on it. So what's up with Lightning this week? And I'm personally doing a bunch of like Lightning reviews from time to time.
Okay.
Figure out how things will work. But we don't have anyone on staff to do
Doing
it.
lightning. Yeah. Okay. Because I mean that would be the next step. We'd really like to get lightning in daytime.
Mhm.
That all working.
That can be another.
We'll never get anywhere if we don't evolve, George.
That's definitely. But I think like there are. So I mean, like one of the issues, like this is diverging away from the issue. But I think did we cover everything we needed?
Yeah, but I was just curious because maybe like the extensions for the 2 would be awfully similar, possibly. And so that's why I was kind of curious how much.
So I think like one interesting with Lightning is that it actually there is an extension that makes it being able to sync things with the evolution data source.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it will actually show up in your calendar.
Oh.
So we need to investigate that.
You said that exists already?
And it does exist as
Where does it exist?
I'm sorry?
Where does it exist?
Somewhere in addons.mozilla or it's funny, like everything you can think of, like
Wait,
wow,
does it
this-
work well? We should throw that recommended down and start banging on it.
we can look into that. I haven't installed my system, I think. I need to like double check that it actually works and so. But a lot of people write a lot of different crazy extensions for everything. So it's interesting. Like Ryan Paul the other day was saying like, wow, I would really like an extension to translate things from German to English. And I looked it up, and of course there's an extension that does that. It uses Google Translate. So
I'm
I'm
just going to Google Translate.
so now I can like decipher my weird Singapore spam. Yeah, and like actually figure out what people are saying.
Okay, so that's a good work item. Investigate the EDS Thunderbird plugin.
Yeah, and I'm not sure like how well written it is, or how up to date it is, or how well it works in general.
Is this
But
for Chris also?
Yeah.
it is out there, and I've made it to work.
Okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
so-
Good.
Cool. That's good to know.
That would be an extra bonus, you know.
Yeah. Good.
And I'm not sure if it syncs both ways or just one way.
Doesn't pipe to a out of process Python thing.
Obviously, the way that's important is to UDS, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, and it does that.
That would
Yeah.
be the important way. But obviously, if we wanted the ability to edit calendar entries, then
Yeah, and I guess you also have a migration thing where you want your whole evolution calendar to just similar in the way that Thunderbird just imports the evolution accounts and everything like that.
And you guys need to take Couch TV contacts back.
Couch TV contacts? Oh, yeah.
Hank and I were talking about it. That's not a big problem. There's a guy working on it on the spare time. You know, if it was a default mail client, you could force them to.
You're not going to be using any of the Firefox sync technology, are you?
We are a little bit. So mixed puppy. Oh crap! What's his real name? How do I only manage to remember his Irish name?
That's what I'm the
So
second.
Sean. His name is Sean. So he's been doing some of the Firefox Firefoxing stuff, and like trying to sync contacts, maybe account details, and I think that's pretty much it, actually. And I mean, like, those are the most important pieces, that you have your account set up and your contacts available. But it's done as an extension right now, and it's on Mozilla Labs messaging. So you can try it out.
Yeah. It's slightly off topic. You were talking about CouchDB and contacts and things. I assume you were hinting at Ubuntu 1 there as well.
I mean, you don't need to do anything except get them off Couch TV.
Yeah.
With the ones
'Cause,
that spare the rest.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I thought about this week actually, I know this is slightly off topic now, but it would be quite good to get Firefox Sync working with Ubuntu 1. At the moment, you have to create a separate sync account.
Talk to Ack. We were having this exact
Yeah.
discussion yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Whether
and
we
you
can
and me
use-
were talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah, and I think like
Very nicely.
I'm not sure how hard it would be, since like of course Firefox Sync means that like you're not, no one but you are supposed to know about your bookmarks, and I guess like Ubuntu 1 ties into the web server. Oh,
No, I mean, it's the same thing.
oh, okay.
Because your account, you actually can't even share your
Yeah.
bookmarks yet. Which
But I mean,
makes
like
sense.
it's built in such a way that you should be able to set up your own server. So
Yeah.
just a matter of doing that, I guess. And then you will get the Thunderbird 6 stuff as well,
Yeah.
because
That'd
they
be
work
really
in a similar
Yeah.
way.
So you just built
So who do I
Do
need to talk to?
what?
Who do I need to talk to? Who?
Ack. Stuart
Stuart
Langridge.
Okay.
He's loud. He just
Yeah, you
listens.
can miss
Oh,
him.
yeah, I know. Yeah. I know who he is.
You like it or not.
Guy with the pointy head. Yeah.
It's like the only thing he's famous for is I'm friends with Jono Bacon. That's
So I wonder if there's anything else. I mean, like visually with the Thunderbird 3.0 release, we pick up the proper GTK folder icons and everything like that.
Okay.
It shouldn't be an issue.
So are you going to do better GTK theming? Is that on the roadmap?
Yeah, sure. Do you have like any specific bugs
not specific ones, but I just know that GTK theming is changing a lot in 3.0.
Oh yeah, I have not looked into that at all, like how to deal with that, but it's fixable.
Because now that it's all Cairo based, it should be easier for you guys, I would hope.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like all of our themings and appearance things are all CSS, so it should be, and just picks up on like native color names, like.
I thought you did native widgets as well, no? No native widgets.
Oh, we do. Well, unlike in the CSS, I can say like, so I have this button element, so I said like most appearance button, and it would show up as a button. But I could do other things. I could say like, well, this button should be all green, for example, so I can override the native appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all in CSS basically.
Okay. And GTK theming will be there too.
Yeah, so it should be alright. I mean, especially if they keep the color names and all of that.
Cool.
Ooh. Oh, a lot easier than I thought. You just make him do everything.
Well, that's normally what happens.
And you have
Great session.
a promise of a UI review or several in the future. or something like
Can you make him a little coupon?
that. You can have a UI review from me.
Yes. And then if you could do your best to make sure that other people on Thunderbird know,
Hmm?
tell them what you see.
Yeah, sure.
And think about quick lists, because I think we'd like to see
Mm.
everybody use those. And
Yeah, and I mean, like, we need to
Yeah.
solve that for Windows 7
Yeah.
anyway.
and the only thing that's a restriction on ours, I think Windows has the same restriction, you can't do submenus.
No submenus.
No submenus.
Well, would you like to make some
No.
menus?
No.
No. Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's definitely a question of like what should go in the menu and what should go in the quick list, and
Yep.
and I wonder, like, should it be different between Linux and Windows? What goes in the quick list? Maybe people want to have like the same.
It should be the same because they basically behave the same.
Yeah.
It's a nice feature. People should have it.
People, I mean, I think that's why at least a lot of our designers use Thunderbird, is because when they get switched to OS X and it works the same,
Yeah.
it's the same, and so I think,
And no submenus. Then it just becomes not a quick list. It just becomes
Yeah.
list.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's something like compose new message or
Yeah.
inboxes or
Compose, I think, is key.
yeah.
I think compose, and I think the list of inboxes to jump to that. You've got 2 or
That'd be
3.
cool.
It's pretty much, that'd be my guess, but.
Maybe address book, even though like
Yeah, we did, right now in Evolution, we do address book, contacts, compose new message, address book, and then the 2 mailboxes, or 3
Yeah.
mailboxes,
Yeah.
whatever.
sort of makes sense.
But there's no reason we're gonna do more.
Yeah. Okay, get started on the menu. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna be busy 6 months on.
Compose the message address book and.
What?
For the menu.
Oh, we do compose new message, address books, and then the mailboxes. Every mailbox you've got gets an entry, up to 7.
Yeah.
And no sub.
Excellent.
Awesome. Okay, so when's the next Thunderbird session? Is tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm right at the end of the day, I think.
Okay, and then both Brian and David will be here, and yeah,
Cool.
and they're good to ask.
I don't know. We're just 4 to 6 weeks away from having a global menu on Firefox. Ted said it would take you 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll see you. So no Christmas for you unless it's done. All I can say.
It's not tomorrow.
Yeah.
When the
I think our Firefox 4 sessions.
And David can
Yes,
also
it's
answer
the end of
any
the day
questions about
Thursday.
trademark and things like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And Brian can
Yeah.
dive into the
Yeah,
actual
Wednesday,
UI.
Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we should make sure of that. I
We
should
should
think about
yeah.
that. But we're just gonna make preferred, so it always goes as mail. Hopefully that's not an issue.
I would prefer mail as well.
That's
So.
awesome.
And I want to show you the
Thunderbird
section.
I just want to make sure someone's on that global menu.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.